Hello, this is going to be a video on the new leak detection object. This is a new object that was created to visualize the leak of parts and bags in the autoclave or ovens. And basically there's a new object which is called the leak detection object, and I'll go into the configuration of this in another video, but this one is really just going to talk about how it works. And in essence, you can tie leak detection to the integrity checks leak test, or you can have it be independent. But once an integrity check is completed, so if we reset integrity and start an integrity check, and what will happen here is it's a 40-second integrity check leak check. So, and I've basically set up a configuration which will basically simulate a vacuum leak. So we see some of these vacuum probe 1 through 4 and source 1 through 4 leaking. After 40 seconds or so, we should get some results. And basically the leak detection object runs in parallel to the integrity check. You can set it up to have a specific duration. Normally we want to set the duration to a shorter time, because really the interesting part of the process is at the beginning of the leak. So here we have a leak failure, and there's a new button called leak detection that I've added to this screen, which basically does a show method of the leak detection object. If we click it, what we're now seeing is you can see that there's a part, different parts are selected. The top part has an actual batch tool associated with it, and what we see here is all the probes and the sources are being listed, and depending on the amount of leak that occurred, they're going to show a range from white to dark red, and we can actually show them without the colors or with the colors. We can show values or leak amounts, and so you see here that the leak amount is 0.5 or the value is minus 28.3. And there are specific steps within that test. So what this system does is, depending on the step size or the step duration, it will collect data for each step. So now that we've collected 28 steps of information over a 30-second period, I can play it back, and what it'll do in the playback is actually step through every quarter second a specific step. And what you're able to do then is kind of see where the leak begins, and that's a good idea of the source of the leak. Now you can also put it in a continuous playback mode here, in which case it will just loop, and that's useful when you want to go to a specific area or a different image to kind of see where those leaks are occurring, and so they can jump around to different images, and they're basically seeing the playback on those different images. This information is actually stored in the object, so it isn't using a data file, it isn't using anything else. So once I stop the playback, it's basically gonna stay there, and if I hit reset, it will basically clear out all that data and start fresh again. And I can start my own leak test on this screen as well by just pressing start. And it functions a lot like the integrity check object. There's a script for on start, on end, and on stop. So this is what it's a nice feature. It can give you a lot of great visual information on the leak, and so the next video we'll talk about how to configure it. Okay, thanks. Bye.